Good morning, friends. The last time we talked before the weekend, it was about how we deal with people who are supposed to be out there in the world, but instead we deal not with the reality of people or the real people, but the image of the people that we have in our head. Now, if that is really clear, then I believe majority of the problems or majority of the unhappiness which is coming from people would simply disappear. However, there is one more thing which if we integrate, I believe more than 90% of the problems involving other people will be dissolved. So there are two things. The first thing which we talked on last Friday, this people out there and people, the image in here, that is first thing. And the second thing which I want to talk today, these two things I believe together they form the base of our social interaction with people. And if we integrate these two insights, there is probably no need for us to have pain or suffering connected with other people. So what is this second thing that I am talking about? Well, when I talk about this thing in a seminar or a consultation, the person whom I am describing this, they feel more often, people feel in the beginning, they feel offended. And I ask them to wait until I make my point and only then come to the judgment. That is exactly what I am trying to tell you here also. It is possible that what I say now might offend some of you in the beginning, but hang on until the end of the video and then make up your mind. So this is what I have to say. As harsh as it may sound, the fact is we only deal with the people from whom we are getting something. We only stay connected to the people who somehow help us to fulfill some of our need or who directly fulfill some of our need. We are not connected to the people, we do not stay connected to the people from whom we are not getting anything. Now I know this sounds like selfish, and it is selfish, and I don't see anything wrong in being selfish in this context. Well, if you look around, I mean, I understand that we don't have a choice when it comes to family member. We just have this family member. But then we do have a choice when it comes to friends and acquaintances, like people around us, right? Now, throughout our life, we have, how many people you have met? 1,000, 10,000, more than 20,000, 30,000 people at least. Some people meet even a much bigger number of people. If you are dealing with people in your profession, you will meet even more number of people. How many of them became your friends? I think you can count on your hand, right? The numbers, very rarely and very few people. And why is it that in spite of meeting so many people, we could only connect with some of the people? The simple reason is, we only like to be around the people who are somehow giving us something which is important to us. And I don't think anything is wrong with that. And when I say that we only deal with people who somehow, from whom somehow we are getting something, I don't mean it is always about material gains, you know. The gains that I am talking about are more subtle, more intangible. Sometimes what we are getting from these people is care, attention, love, support, warmth. So these are all the intangible things which you cannot hold, which you cannot count, but still we are getting from these people. That is why these people are important part of our life. We would say that, come on, you know, like I like to spend time with my friend because just there is no reason, I just like it. So that is it. You like it. the person with whom you like to spend time makes you feel good about yourself or about something. So that feeling of liking you are not getting from someone walking on the street, but the feeling of liking you are getting from your friend. So my whole point is that there is nothing wrong in accepting the fact of life that we are in that context. Only in that context we are selfish. We are, every moment of our life we are looking for something, and we only connect or stay connected with people who somehow, in some way, give us something that is important to us. It could be a need, a value, anything, something important to us. Now, the interesting thing is that just as we are connected with people from whom we are getting something, they are also connected with you because they are getting something. Now, in the real world, there is a special word. There is a special word for this phenomena where two parties or two people come together and they are getting something important from each other. One of them is giving something, another one is giving something in return. In the real world, we would call it business. And again, as harsh as it may sound, I would say every relationship is a business and should be treated like a business. I know many of you at this moment might feel offended because we like to give this nice philosophic aura to our relationships. Like we want it to be like I am just connected to someone for no reason. Relationships are not businesses. These are the words I have heard in my consultations, in my seminars when I talk about this concept. But when I say business, why does it have to be bad? Why does business have to be bad? On the contrary, I would say if you give it the label of a business, every relationship is a business, things will become much more easier for us to deal. And it is a business. Just here in normal business, you would go to a shop or an office, you would pay your money to them and they will give you something which is important to you. That is a normal business. In this business of relationship also, there are commodities. Every time you are connected with someone, you are exchanging commodities instead of products. Here are commodities. And what are these commodities? These commodities are simple things of life. Love, care, attention, warmth, fun, pleasure. This is what this is what we are supposed to exchange. Like we are in a business of sharing and selling. Yes, it looks harsh, but selling love, joy, pleasure, fun to other people. And in return, they also pay us. They also pay us with something which is valuable to us. It is some kind of a barter. It is some kind of action, very much like business. And I believe that if we treat our relationships as businesses, and just as in businesses, you value your customer. If you are doing a business, you value your customer. It is the same way. If we start treating other people, we will start giving them something which is important to them. I believe majority of our problems with relationship with people would vanish. Okay, so you don't trust me? Fine. Let's take an example of a couple. Let's say there is this couple. They have been in deep love for several years, and eventually they decided to move in together, maybe to get married or simply move in together. And the first couple of years, it feels like the marriage was made in heaven. And then one fine day, the girl, maybe, let's say she's your friend, she comes to you and says that, it looks like he has changed. It looks like he's not the same person I fell in love with. Now he's totally a different guy. Before he used to care for me, before he would pay attention, now he simply returns home, watches his football and goes to bed, works with his tool, no attention, no care. Have you heard this from some of your friends in reality? Has it happened to you? It's quite common. And whenever this happens, I mean, this happens quite often, but whenever this happens, it is not that the person has changed, something else has happened. But to give you, to let you know what I mean by what changes in relationships, I would like to give you a real life example. Let's say there is a, let's say you and I are doing some business. Let's say we decide that I'm going to buy your product for 20 euros a kilogram, and I will buy from you every month 20 kilograms, so I must pay you 400 euros. And this goes on for 4 or 5 months perfectly well. I pay you 400 every month. You send to my place 20 kgs. Now after 6 months, let's say, again I send you 400, and instead of sending me 20 kilograms, you send me only 3 kilograms. And I'm a bit surprised, and I make a call and I ask you, what happened? Why am I getting only 3 kilograms instead of 20? And the person says, that's all I have got, that's what you will get from me. If that happened, you would feel cheated, isn't it? I mean, I would feel cheated because if I am the one who is buying. And even we don't need to go to some hypothetical example. Let's think about this. You and I, we decided that we are going to have this online intensive for 40 days, and this is going to be the cost of this online intensive. Now let's say at the end of 30 days I come up to you and make a final video and tell you that, friends, this is the final video because everything I had to share with you I have done in the 30 days. There is no point for the next 10 days for us to have this intensive. That's it, finished. Wouldn't you feel cheated? You would feel cheated because there was some kind of agreement between you and me. 40 days we will have this online intensive. There was some kind of agreement between me and the person from whom I would buy a product for 20 euros a kg. The agreement was, this is what I pay, this is what I get from that. Now that in businesses, it is very, very clearly defined agreement. However, coming back to our example of the couple where the girl started feeling that he has changed. My boyfriend or my husband has changed, and I no longer feel the same in this relationship. And this is such a common phenomenon. I mean, majority of the times when marital relationship starts failing, it is when one of them comes to this point that I am putting in everything and I am not getting in return. What happens in that scenario is the same thing which happened in this example with the business transactions. When you put in everything that you are supposed to put in, and what you get in return is only 3 kilograms, eventually, even in personal life, you will feel this is cheating, like you will feel you are being cheated. Now, the reason I am saying, I'm not saying you should treat personal relationships as business, but there is something so clearly defined about business transaction that I think we need to learn from that. We need to import this clarity and this unspoken contract of equal exchange. So my whole point is, when the exchange of energies is balanced, when you are getting something which is of the equal value of what you are giving, eventually you feel justified in a relationship. And this we established very early on our video today, that no matter what, however you would like to think, the fact of life is we always like to be around people from whom we are getting something that we consider to be important or valuable to us. So why shy away from the fact? That's how the world works. Nobody is spending time around people just like that. I mean, even it looks like that I'm not getting anything from my friend, you are getting something. You are getting some pleasure, some fun, or just the feeling of belonging by being in part of group. So there is always getting. So why shy away from the fact that I am connected to someone because I am getting something valuable, and so is the other person because this person is also getting something valuable from me in return. The point is, majority of the relationships would come to a point of downward spiral when these exchange of values is not balanced, when one of them continues giving, the other one does not return the favor. It's not favor, but does not return to give something in value. Is it not your personal experience? I mean, is it not the experience of people around us in life, like people, couples especially, who have separated or who are in the process of separation, or couples who are living together for many years and still suffering? The biggest problem you can trace it down to is that he's different now. He used to be different. I am not getting what I was getting from him earlier. So eventually the problem starts in relationships, whether it is in personal life or with your family or with your friends or with your colleagues. When there is an imbalance in the exchange of values, that is when relationships go on the downward spiral. So I would like to give you a task today. I have prepared a document for you. The document will be in our group, and this document has 4 columns. The first column where you can put in different relationships, for example, husband or wife or colleague, and you can put a name of the colleague, or a friend XYZ, or a family member, whatever relationship that you want to work on in this practice, you can put in the first column. The next column is about when this relationship was at its best, when it was working perfectly well. These are the things which I was getting from them, from that relationship. Let's say, for example, in the relationship in your marriage with your husband or wife, let's say you were getting care, love, attention, support, comfort. Fine. In a relationship with your friend, particular friend, you are getting fun and comfort and support. Fine. Now the third column is about, now when the relationship is not so good, what stopped coming to me? What am I missing right now, which was coming to me earlier when it was going perfectly well? So let's say, coming to the example of a relationship with a husband or wife, earlier you were getting 4 or 5 things. Now let's say in this column you can note down that maybe I'm still getting the comfort. He has created a comfortable place for me, but I'm not getting any longer attention, or I'm not getting any longer support from him to do what I should do. Or in a relationship with a friend, you were getting fun, you were getting support earlier. Now you're still getting fun, but you're not getting support. So in the third column, write down what you're missing. And then the fourth column is an kind of an open topic right now, because we haven't still explored what we can do about it. But this is where I want you to be creative with your own thinking, and to explore possibilities. What is it that I could possibly do to get what I am missing in this particular relationship? I know there is no fixed answer to that, because it depends on situation and on the person who is involved there. So that I leave upon you. I would recommend all of you, please fill in this document, and it is okay if you are not sharing the names of the people with whom you have mentioned in these columns, but I would like you to come up and share your experiences. How when the exchange of commodities, exchange of intangible subtle commodities was imbalanced, eventually it made you feel something is wrong with this relationship. So once again, let me repeat this. I'm not saying we should call it a business. I'm saying we should treat it like a business, because in business people are more honest. In business people have more clearly defined boundaries. If someone is not keeping their end of the bargain, you would eventually stop doing business with this guy. This is not what we do in personal lives. In personal life, I know couples who have been together for 10 years and blaming each other every single day. Why blame? Why not do something about that? Over the period of next several videos, we will discover what we can do, actually what specific steps we can take to restore this balance in relationship. But the first two videos about the social dimension, the first one was about how we relate with the world, not out there but in here, which is a wrong idea. And the second one is about today, where about the exchange of commodities, exchange of subtle commodities, to treat every relationship as you would treat a business deal. Things would that would make life much easier. We will consider these two as the base for these two concepts as the base for our future videos when it comes to social dimension. With that, friends, that will be all from me for today. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Thank you.